Hello, everybody. This is an alcohol review of the Real McCoy single blended rum. There we are. According to the label, single blended rum, no added sugar, flavor, or artificial color. Aged 3 years, a traditional Barbados rum, small batch crafted with unique balance of copper column and pot stills. Blended with spring water and genuine single cask aged in heavy char American oak bourbon barrels. Foursquare Distillery, St. Philip, Barbados, 80 proof, 40% alcohol by volume, 750 ml bottle, batch number. Interesting. According to the back, in the 1920s, when Prohibition began, Captain Bill McCoy made a name for himself as America's first rum runner. He delivered only the best quality, unadulterated spirits, which became known as the world as the Real McCoy, following McCoy's Prohibition tradition, and it's been trademarked. Interesting. We present a rare, dry style, authentically aged small batch rum. This is the general article. It's the Real McCoy. This is where it gets interesting. Tasting notes on the bottle. Hints of bright citrus, toasted coconut, buttery caramel, nutmeg, and subtle oak, with a gentle finish that comes out with age. Well, it's 3 years old. The other oddities, this whole thing is just kind of filled with little nuances that are very strange. The heat shrink on the top here. I know you're not going to be able to see this at all. I'm sure the camera can't pick it up. I honestly thought it was just odd scratches on it at first. Until I got a good look at it. I believe it's a schooner. You guys can see there's a variance in the black from dull to a shiny. And that shiny are the lines, and I think it's a schooner. Of course, this posts a lot, aged for years, all the way around it. The fact that when you go to a white rum, it's largely clear as water. This has a bit of a hue to it, a yellow hue. Now, according to the bottle here, it says spring water, fine. Genuinely single cask aged heavy char American oak bourbon barrels. Now, as you know, by law, according to, well, the law, obviously here, bourbon has to be aged in brand new charred American oak barrels. It's one of the criteria that makes it bourbon and no longer a whiskey. And you're like, well, that gives it that nice caramel color. And actually, it can, and sometimes not enough. And they tend to, industry secret here, add a lot of coloring to it to give it that beautiful caramel. Well, what are you going to do after the barrels are done? A lot of places, they just simply get rid of it, or they sell it off as material for various strange products, like, oh, I want a lawn chair made out of bourbon barrels. Things along that line. You can pick them up off the web rather expensively, if you will. Well, I do know that some other industries, especially now in the world of scotches and Irish whiskeys, that they are now taking these bourbon barrels and putting their scotches into them, and apparently now, in some cases, rum. Now, I know one of the companies in the islands will take American bourbon barrels, soak them in seawater to leach out any impurities, clean them out from there, and then age their rums in it. But it has a yellowy hue, so I'm wondering what kind of process this company goes through when it comes to their barrels. All right, I rambled on enough. Let's go and actually test this guy. Interesting, that's come up from the bottom. 3 years. Comes off clean. It is, just by the side of it, a plastic cork. Not too unexpected. Thing is, looks like the type you can get from any brewery store. Interesting. My normal testing glass is MIA. So I'm resorted down to a standard glass here. So, pardon for that measure. Alrighty. It is a yellowy, off yellowy hue to it. Nice and clear. Very thick on the sides of the glass. When it tears up well. Smells of vanilla. Light citrus notes. Still a lot of that ethanol comes up. Very icing-like. Lots of burn. Not too bad. Not too distracting. But it does have a good burn to it. You get like white icing. Lots of vanilla. And a lot of ethanol taste to it. It's not bad. The nose is much better than the palate. It's got a long hang time. That off rum flavor just stays and stays and stays, and with that stays a very light burn that goes with it. I wish it had a cleaner end to it than what it does. But you still get light citrus notes, white icing, vanilla. All of that does come out, but there's a lot of burnt to it. That must be what I'm talking about here in the the notes, the tasting notes. About gentle finish. Well, I could say that. Butter, a little caramel, no. Nutmeg, yes. Subtle oak. That oak comes out in the very end, giving it a bit of a bitterness to it. That is a little off kiltering because you get this sugary in the beginning with this ethanol type taste through it, that bittery burn through it, and then it ends charcoaly. See what you guys think. The flavors are very subtle. Maybe on ice, that may help it out. I have my doubts. Usually ice wipes out flavors rather than enhances them. But maybe that's what the problem is. It needs to be served cold, I guess. This is done at room temperature. Adding it to a cocktail, well, I don't think that'll help the cocktail any, if at all. So obviously it's one that you wish to have just simply as a sipper. But I don't know. Give it a try. See what you think. Like I said, the subtleties are throwing me off. I like stronger flavors. See what you guys think. This is the Real McCoy. Aged 3 years. Any comments about this product down below would be great. Or better yet, go out, buy it, try it, make a review of yourself so the rest of us in the YouTube community can know your thoughts about the Real McCoy. Like I said, I think it's a crisscross of a lot of flavors that are somewhere that should be brought out more, are too subtle, and those should be that subtle are brought out too far forward. But that doesn't mean it's a bad rum. Give it a try, see what you think. And until next time, keep on drinking.